The haters didn't think it was possible, Nez. They did not think it was possible that we could do an actual all draft stream and start it with drafts.
You just absolutely smashed the lower with that one. You just lost a lot of people a lot of money with that one. Wow. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Let's go. 8 more.
We are so back, man. We're doing dinger to start. 8 more. Let's fill a dinger. It's baseball weather, my friend. Fun stuff here. Obviously, in lieu of often on the clock, a little bit of a less fluid or less serious, more fluid, just old school OG throwback draft show here, Nez. We just have some fun and rip.
Yeah, man, it feels good. It feels good to be back in these baseball streets. I'm slowly but surely getting acclimated to the new ADP landscape that we have in these streets. But it feels good, man. This is really what started it all was the love for baseball on Underdog, and just back to the roots. Just makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's talk for a second. We talked for a little bit on off and on the clock. 6 more to fill this first streamed dinger of the season. But we talked a little bit off and on the clock there. Pete kind of gave us the floor for half a second, but just want to say thank you to community, everyone here, just like all the support, and then all the people at Underdog, man. Like, it's just so great. We're going to be bringing you guys 3 shows a week at minimum, tethered to Underdog, then some badges only paywall stuff, and then some limited edition series stuff where, kind of ins and outs of, the 101s of Pick'em, the 101s of Underdog drafting, cutting together some videos and stuff like that. So that's all the plan for the future there. But just wanted to, say thank you, right, Nez?
Well said. Well said. Yeah, we really do owe a great majority of what we have received from this show, from everything, from the engagement of the community and everybody's support. So yeah, sincere thanks. I really do appreciate everybody in here. But enough of that soft stuff. Enough of the thanks and the love. We're in this draft. You're 3, I'm 6. Let's freaking go, man.
Let's get it. This will be fun.
I gotta stand up for this.
Stand up for the draft. I respect it, Matt. I was messing around. We have a little stacking dingers chat between us there, and I was joking around the other night that I was so excited to get in my first draft that I just fired it up without thinking as soon as the contest dropped, and I was walking in the snow to go get a pizza, and I didn't have gloves on that do that you can touch your screen whenever Mavs is freezing my bag off, just trying to
my bag off. Unreal. It was
so fun.
Walking in the snow to grab a pizza is that's dedication to the pie. It better have been good pie. It better have been worth it.
Oh, great pie. I'm stone's throw from 4 or 5 pizza shops. So it's a dealer's choice on any given night if you want to go the pie direction. But yeah. All right, here we go. I put Juan Soto on the cover there. Are we doing this? Are we back to just Soto versus Acuna? Are we back to that debate that we had last year all over again?
So as of right now, yeah, but I think Aaron Judge is going to find his way into the 2.8 territory pretty soon here. I mean, for my money, I want Judge over Soto in this style contest.
Yeah, I mean, we talk so much about the walks floor just makes Soto so safe. The same thing that boosts Kyle Schwarber in this format also is what boosts Juan Soto. Just the ability to get on base. But yeah, it's I don't think you have a debate versus Acuna. I think it's just Acuna 101. But I think you can have a pretty open forum discourse from Aaron Judge to 10,
Oh yeah, you absolutely can. I mean, you got to imagine too that Soto is going to have way more RBIs and way more runs scored in this season as well. we're starting things off hot here, man, with pick 6. You might like this one.
Love it, man. I mean, this is the state of the games here. We're talking about Corbin Carroll, who was like 8th, 10th, 11th rounder when we first started this contest last year. And then by end of season, he was going fringe round 2 kind of guy.
Yeah, it was like more like round 3, maybe. I can't. His steam was like meteoric, though. It was like unlike anything that I really have seen in the MLB streets, at least. You know, that type of rise just really doesn't happen very often, and it ended up like being correct, which was like the craziest part of all.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's so I don't know. I can't really think of a rookie who gets steamed up a board, then over delivers on the promise for the entirety of the season. Like in any sport, can you think of one?
I mean, not in under the underdog streets. Like, no, not really.
Yeah,
I mean, I would have loved to have had this contest when like Soto was like around, even though he came up out of nowhere too, though. Like, he would not have really been drafted in this style contest, because I mean, at least from my understanding, he wasn't like that season that he ended up making his debut. It wasn't necessarily a known thing that he was going to come up that season, or at least that soon.
No, fully agree there. Yeah, it was not a known thing there. Some interesting debates to be had in that, like, kind of like Mookie Betts, including Otani, depending what you think of his health and the health of the elbow there, and whether he's gonna. I mean, he's gonna hit all year. He's probably not gonna pitch at all this year. That's kind of like the meta with him, and then going to the Dodgers is just like, oh my god, what it could do. Both him and Soto, what it could do to boost their like counting stats categories. But yeah, the debate is interesting behind that, like whether you buy into how Julio finished the year last year, the Kyle Tucker emergence, Yordan Alvarez being maybe just the flat out best hitter in baseball, and then Fernando Tatis, who basically, if he didn't have the steroid thing last year or any of the injury stuff in the previous year, would be vying for the 101, and he's coming at the 110, for free here. So what are your initial thoughts of the starting landscape?
I mean, it's just like just the way that the game has evolved so much into understanding that that this is what we're doing now, is like we're pushing up outfielders and everyone's just like on board with it. It's just like kind of wild that everyone agrees with that meta. And I mean, it's correct. It's absolutely correct. There's just overwhelming data that supports it.
Okay, this is an interesting one here for me, because like the mindset of getting Mike Trout, as a second round pick, as a whatever, it just feels like so comfy and so good. But I'm gonna take Big Pete here. It feels like there's a lot of inherent risk in the Trout ADP, and I think it's more likely to go the other way than it is to steam up the board.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I don't know what it would really take for it to go up the board. Like, I'm not even certain. Like, I'm not up to date with his injury, his health right now. But I mean, in this lobby, you see he's gonna make it all the way back to you.
Yeah,
which is
it's
wild.
interesting, because if you look at some of the high stakes stuff, and like the difference in like the high stakes stuff right now is just like the positional designations and whatnot. I'm gonna take my boy, man, the tool shed. The tool shed.
He's still gonna skip,
dude. Luis, never call me Robert. Is coming home. Rightfully where he belongs. The guy that I was all over last year. Here we go. Yeah, the Mike Trout conversation is really interesting, because on some other high stakes drafts that are going on right now and stuff, he's fallen deep, man, like 80s, 90s, like stuff like that. His ADP settling around like mid 50s and 60s. Granted, this is a outfield heavy site, and we push out outfield here, but yeah, it's just interesting.
Yeah, I don't know that it's like a bad thing that that's the way that things are on our platform, based on scoring settings, based on roster settings. It just kind of is what it is. at the end of the day, you still got to pick the best players. Like
Mhm.
that's just table stakes at this point. Is understanding that outfield scarcity is extremely real, and it is what it is. I mean, I don't think that it's going to make things stale per se. It's just like the first two rounds of drafts are going to go the same generally, close to every single time. It's going to be the same cast of characters. It's just a different order in that second round and maybe a different order in that first round. But like I said, I don't have a problem with it. It just kind of is what it is. There's still, like I said, like there's still 18 other decisions to be made after that round. So it's not the end all
Right.
be all.
Yeah, no, for sure. I really like this show. Jamar Chase did it. Jamar Chase did it as a rookie who screamed up draft boards and then delivered in year one. I like that one a lot. Our
O'Neal
guy
Cruz
Easy
almost
was
did.
no, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, he was fantastic in the finals.
Yeah,
He
but
was
he
one of the
came
best
out.
scoring players in the finals.
Yeah, yeah, it's fair. It's fair. It's fair. He wasn't
Let me
drafted that
squeeze it
much.
in.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
allow it. It's first
only
baseball
by
show of
me.
the year. I will allow it. Yeah, Easy saying sprint for Devers. That's a good shout there. Devers does seem like one of the guys who's low key underpriced. Like third round Devers, like you got there. Like that feels really nice, right?
I love some of these outfield or infielders right now, and I really
Mhm.
think that my meta this season is going to be, get my first outfielder, pound elite infield and pitcher, and then shoot like go shotgun at the outfield position and take a lot of outfielders. I think doing a little bit of zigging while others zag
Mhm.
could be beneficial if you can nail one of these outfielders that go late and they end up having like a top 100 season while also nailing like because there's so many infielders here that can put up like 40 home runs or like
Right.
30 home runs that are extremely valuable. But Garrett Cole might end up not being a good pick where I got him. He did kind of fall, but a lot of data suggesting that just let pitchers be. I'm not ready to accept that.
Well,
I'm
I
just not.
okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, like it yeah, I think it's like a roster construction question, like just in general. Here, let me think through what I'm gonna do to pick here though. Um I think I'm gonna try and double tap pitcher. Wow, you see Yamamoto already climbing. He started at
Whoa.
ADP 99. He started at
Whoa.
ADP 99. That's crazy.
I don't even
All
know
right, let's
that.
take Luis.
Jesus. I don't even know that 53 is like right. Damn, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I need to see how many innings he's thrown in years past.
Cody Bellinger has infield designation now for those who were playing the previous contest. Just interesting of note. Yeah, Nez, my mindset's been slightly different. Like I streamed my first baseball draft was at the end of our last show. I did a little solo of the previous contest there, the bullpen. And I was of the mindset, granted, I've only done, a handful thus far and haven't thought too in depth about it. The way things were shaping up, there were a lot of pitchers that I like late. So I was like anchoring myself to like similar to what we did 2 seasons ago with like Justin Verlander being like the ace of my staff, but you get him in like the sixth round. And I would do an elite infielder, 3 outfielders, and then that would be the front end of my staff. And then I would build out 6 pitcher teams where the pitchers were kind of like suppressed in value right now because they're the most volatile commodities when you start hearing soreness or guy not pitching in spring for 2 weeks or velo down. They're the most volatile commodities, whereas so I think the closing line value on pitcher is always going to be like higher.
Yeah, probably. Based on the way that things are trending, man. Like all the data and everybody that is talking about this stuff, shout out stacking dingers. Everybody is basically saying like, hey, like pitcher is just like the least valuable position is kind of the TLDR. But, you know, I'll take these if these horses that I've just nabbed and Garrett Cole and Zach Wheeler can do their thing uh and stay healthy. That's really like over half the battle in best ball is like how healthy is your team, or for what percentage are you putting out a full lineup or a respectable lineup for that matter. Let's see here. I think Castellanos is overpriced. I'll take the little discount on Nimmo here. I love me some Nimmo oatmeal, and he's inevitably going to drop. Actually, he is going to drop. So I'm going to do Hap. I don't want to catch the Nimmo falling knife because this happens all the time. Nimmo starts off the best ball season in the 50s, where he should be going because he's great oatmeal for your team, and then he falls, and he'll be going past Jazz Chisholm by when? Like fucking
2 weeks,
in 2
3
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
When everybody realizes that he's just so boring and all he does is just get on base. And then some narrative will come up where it's like, oh, he's not going to hit at the top of the lineup versus lefties, guys. He's going to move down, and that never ends up coming to fruition. Easy suggesting his computers have Tyler Glass now at 198. Holy smokes.
Too high. So,
man, people hate Glass now.
No, I don't think that I'm gonna have a lot of Glass now. I'm sorry. Like, this guy, how many times do we have to see Glass now just not make it through a season? Like, at this point, I think it's more than just a coincidence, but maybe it doesn't really matter if he's healthy during the playoffs. Like, that's really what matters. So I mean, hey, 120 innings last season, wouldn't you know, is career high.
Yeah. Well, the Dodgers are gonna be
for fucking 8 years.
Yeah. Dodgers are going to be really interesting just in general what they do without like Kershaw, with Walker Buehler coming back, with Yamamoto now. Like they're going to be really interesting. They're going to be like, hey, we're playing this for the postseason. We're going to be like capping guys here and there. We're going to be, it's classic Dodgers to run like a 6-man rotation, cap them at like 5 inning starts after, even though like Glasnow's cooking, he's got 10 Ks through 5 and he's at 72 pitches, and they're like, all right, that's enough, buddy, out you go. So yeah, that's gonna be really interesting.
Pitcher is like really going. Oh, go ahead.
I'll just like chip shout here that Yu Darvish, no matter what, he was on the Kota Senga train no matter what last year. So insert insert foreign pitcher that Chip likes in the late rounds, and I'm listening. But Yu Darvish does feel mispriced right now. I have him on both of my first 2 dinger teams.
He's very cheap. He does seem like very cozy at that range. I was gonna say that pitcher. We described last year zero pitcher being the NFL version of zero RB, and that's aging pretty well in my opinion, because pitchers are kind of going by way of running backs. In that, running back volume, like there's less workhorses in the NFL when it comes to running backs, and it's way more spread out. You're seeing that now with pitching, and it sucks. There are so few. Like, it feels weird to say that like there's not very many 5-man rotations in baseball right now, and I just think that that's horrible. But it is what it is, and it's the way that the game has gone. Where like 30% of teams are running bullpen games every 5 games, maybe every 4 games. The other percentage of teams are running 6-man rotations. Like, it's just, what happened to the game that I love?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way, and that plus the advent of like openers and stuff. Like, teams are just so soft with pitching now.
It sucks, man. It's really unfortunate.
I want to bring up a couple things. I'll do it in a second here. Jazz Chisholm, just like so fun. I comped Jazz Chisholm to the LaMelo Ball of the MLB the other day.
Who'd you comp him to?
LaMelo Ball. Jazz Chisholm. hella swaggy, puts up numbers when they're out there. You always want to draft him. I think I like Freddie Peralta's strikeout upside.
I was talking with with baseball and Sheep about Freddie, and if Freddie can find his way to the upper echelon of innings when it comes to the relative to the league, he can pay off some serious value, I think. And Easy making a point that I kind of like agree with too, but I'm not sure that it's correct. We kind of thought about this last year, where like the modern movement of pitching, like the real aces are like might actually like really separate in terms of like in terms of team and construction. I do wonder if we're gonna see, like, I might do more like 7 pitcher builds this season, man. Like I really have concerns about the current state of pitching in baseball.
Interesting. Yeah. I'll bring up some of the roster stuff in a second. I like Yandy. I know that team's gotten worse and the lineup's gotten worse, but if he leads off every day, like I love him. Neumy asking, fan of the show, Neumy2 asking thoughts on Byron Bust son.
No comment. No comment. Is he how many higher lower 100 games played for Byron Buxton?
I don't know. I don't like stuff like that. I want him to just be healthy and finally put a season together. I don't know. I like him. Like, I've always liked him, but he has a huge hole in his swing now, and he's selling out for power and stopped running, and he doesn't play defense anymore. It's just like, I don't know. If he could just stay healthy and be in the middle.
Yeah, weird season for him last season where he slugged so much worse than years prior. Walk rate went up a little bit as well, but like clearly was like either, purposefully trying to hit the ball less hard to stay healthy, or just like wasn't on the field enough to have a consistent feel for a swing. He's definitely going to have a better season than last season in terms of rates, but
yeah, I haven't gone full deep dive on it yet, but I like where your head's at with that stuff. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Neil, it's never too early for MLB, baby.
You must be new here.
We're on a trajectory right now that if you draft 2 every single day until provided the contest stays open that long, but if you draft 2 a day, Nez, you can max the dinger.
Yeah, my goal right now is to start a slow draft every single day. And then that way that kind of keeps me on track. And then like on the weekends, I'll bust out, I'll do a couple multi-tables. That's what's nice, is that I do think you can multi-table baseball pretty easily for the dinger. If you are like, if you have an hour or two to yourself on a night, crack a few cold ones, pop in a few lobbies, you can definitely tackle these. So I know that we've got some baseball poo-pooers in the chat, and to that I just say, get cultured. But I just want to open the open forum. If anybody does like have any questions like about the contest, or like what there are any questions about structures or anything, definitely feel free to ask. Just wanted to throw that out there as I get ready to make this pick.
Yeah, for sure. I will bring up this share tab real quick here. Chris, baseball, stacking dingers, blah, blah, blah. Just bringing up some structure data.
Don't blah, 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 stacking dingers. Don't blah, 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 stacking dingers.
Well, we'll just go through it all at a later date. It's just too much to like unpack and stuff right now. But through everything that, I've been walking through and thinking through and whatever, my mind just goes to like 6-8-6 builds this year that the outfield is pushed up. It's like a stars and scrubs outfield. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, it's certainly the case. And I mean, it was the case last year too. And it was, it kind of proved to be correct. I mean, when it comes to the playoffs of baseball, best ball, man, it's so crazy. It might be like even more wild than NFL, for my money. I mean, it's really crazy.
There's a lot of players I like in this range. I said something to the effect the other day that I think it's just like low key choose your own adventure after like pick 130 ish. But there's a lot of like players I like in this range, just in general. I mean,
who took O'Neal Cruz? Oh, I'm. God damn it. He must have went before I could take him. I would never let somebody do that. I'm trying to have, O'Neal Cruz went ahead of ADP. So I got some competitors in these rooms because I'm trying to have like 30% O'Neal Cruz this year. Sorry, I was about to be on the clock and looking at my options here. No, it is very much like choose your own adventure. I think the structure that you're like heading towards dictates the players that you take, and maybe that's not the right way to look at things, and maybe it's just like best player available and then fix your team in the last 3 rounds. But I tend to be heavily dictated by like, the forecast of how my team's structure is looking. For better or worse, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop baseball's thread in the chat there so that that people can look through that one there and just kind of mess around with the charts. My favorite chart of the bunch here was just showing the flex scoring per week and how dominant it is in favor of infielders versus outfielders.
Oh yeah.
Like that's how your flex position gets scored. So yeah, like the plethora of both their availability, because there's 5 of them for every 3 outfielders there is for sure a scarcity thing on this platform. And I really like the idea of like one elite infielder and then big beefy baseball boys to close it all out.
Mm-hmm. There's a class of infielder that is big beefy and baseball and boys, and they tend to just like score better for this format, like we talked about it, and they tend to be our corner out infielders. Like yeah, not to say that a high floor player can't be beneficial for you in this format in this game, but home runs are where where bread is buttered in these contests. It is what it is. I mean, we've talked so many examples of this where you have a guy with 4 singles and one guy hits a home run and he outscored that guy. Like it's just the way that things work, and it should be that way. A home run is very valuable.
That's why Brandon Nimmo sucks.
It's not true. Brandon Nimmo gets on base 40% of the time and hits in front of Pete Alonso. I rest my case.
Yeah, he actually looks pretty nice on this roster alongside Pete Alonso. How many of these have you done so far, Nez? Like, what are your initial thoughts on stacking principles?
I haven't done a ton lately, but I do think that stacking is correct. Now, I don't want to overstack though is the only thing, because on a week long basis when it comes to the playoffs, each playoff round is 2 rounds, but it's scored 1 week at a time and then resets after 1 week. I definitely don't want to overstack. I also don't want to like port too much knowledge of the dailies into best ball as well, because stacking is fantastic on a day, like in a daily, like that is how you win consistently, is by stacking. But for a stack to hit 2 weeks straight, it does seem like, hey, like let's not like get carried away, is kind of my thoughts on stacking this season.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like one of those things where if it works, it works, but I'm not necessarily going crazy out of my way to build them. But there are some natural ones that occur. And that can be also detrimental in some respects, because if you fall into some natural stacks over and over again, your rosters are going to look really similar over and over.
Yeah, more so for a portfolio thing. I'm not really concerned about matching what the field does, but from a portfolio standpoint, I don't want to have too many like soul teams that look the exact same.
Right. We got some fun rookies to click here. I'm gonna go click a dusty old vet who's gonna give me some innings though.
How many more seasons do you think JV has of like good baseball? Half?
I don't know.
At least one?
Yeah, at least one. I don't know. He looked pretty nice. He looked pretty good in the playoffs, and like coming back from, man, everybody wrote him off like 3 years ago when he came back from TJ, and I don't know. I just see a dude who, even if the velo goes a bit, like he can command fastball up so well, and that just plays so well in this generation. Do I click some sexy fun rookies here, Nez, or do I scroll the F down and go get my boy who is this might be my poster child. He was my poster child of the dailies. I just talked myself into not caring about your opinion, Nez. I'm taking my boy. I'm just gonna go get my guys.
I can't wait to see who this is.
Christopher Morel, my friend. Who else would
Wow.
it be?
No, I mean, truly, who else would it be? Christopher Morel, I mean, like, why did it take so long for this guy to become like a staple in the lineup? He was crushing for like it felt like years, but it's only since 2022. But why? Like he had a good 2022, and they just like kept him in AAA for a quarter of the season for some reason, and then he comes
Yeah.
up and like, oh yeah, this guy freaking smashes. Like, what are we doing? Uh,
Yeah, and they moved him all over the lineup too for some reason. And then they platooned him a decent amount after his like crazy hot stretch. He had like one isolated hot stretch where he had like 9 home runs in 20 days or something like that. And it was like, oh yeah, this is the guy you want. Like the exit velo was crazy, the launch angle was crazy, the hard hit, the exit, like it was just this guy was showing me everything I wanted. And I just went back to the well over and over again in the daily stuff. And then so frequently he would just be like sitting out. Like they would just not play him for whatever reason.
yeah, and then anytime a lefty is like on tap, we're just like, oh baby,
Yeah.
it's Morel season.
Lefty killer.
Some are saying.
Some are saying. I want to ask, some of these rookies and some of these guys getting pushed up, like Jung Ho Lee just went there to Dark Sheep, obviously, knows what's up there. Yeah, I don't know a ton about him. Obviously, Jackson Chirino, Wyatt Langford, Dylan Cruz, like all these kind of guys. Who is there anyone who jumps out to you as like, hey, we need to get ahead of this smoke, get ahead of the field, like Corbin Carroll last year?
Jung Hoo Lee, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
His numbers I think are going to translate really well. Dude controls the zone very, very well. Just looking at his KBO stats, the last 3 seasons, with a walk rate double his K rate in KBO.
Wow.
Just
Wow.
ridiculous with
Soto
like
shit.
with slugging. Yeah, with the guy that can also slug. His steamer projection right now has him slugging 430, walking or on base percentage 354. So OBP of 785, which plays. The only problem is that he is in San Francisco, so it does kind of mute
Bad
stuff.
ballpark for lefties.
Yeah, not necessarily like a home run hitter, but still, not necessarily like super ideal scenario there. But he will play at Coors a lot, so there's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, speaking of playing at Coors a lot, Chip asking about Nolan Jones's ADP here. He plays at Coors. End of story. I guessed when the Stacking Dingers guys did their top 100 rankings, I guessed that he would be the outfield that they had the most disparity between one another with his ranking. I was wrong. They kind of were all in lockstep with ADP to a degree. I don't know, thoughts just in general on Nolan Jones. You think he warrants the price tag?
I kind of think he does, man. I mean,
yeah.
For my money, he does. The Rockies guys that I do follow like have liked him for a while, and we're really excited to see him come up. Has speed, plays in Coors. 20 home runs and just over 100 games last season. Dude just hits the ball really, really hard, and he plays in Coors. That sometimes said. I know sometimes it's that simple.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take Andre Jimenez here. You know why? Because Sam Olsen told me he was his most rostered player the other day, or up there amongst his most rostered.
Is there any other reason, man? Because like I don't understand. Like I feel like I'm seeing this Jimenez love like everywhere, like not just like with us. I'm seeing it everywhere, and I know his ADP is like 12th round. That's not like egregious, but I don't know how much Andres Jimenez separates from guys in like the 19th and 20th round. I guess I'm just like I feel like I'm missing something on Jimenez.
I mean, that's fair. I think maybe it's just like a breakout age kind of bet where it's like, he was the prized piece of that Lindor trade, and now it's like all coming to fruition. There's no Ahmed Rosario potentially taking at bats away, Meta, anything like that. man, if Chris Bryant could learn how to hit the ball in the air, like this is where I gotta start doing some more research and getting prepped for the season right now. Like, is it bad right now to take Chris Bryant there? Like, I was overweight Chris Bryant last year a little bit. I mean, we talked so much last year about the narrative where it was like he had played 85 home games or something as a Rocky, and he had more home runs as a road player in Coors than, he might just be a completely different player now. Like, he might just top spin the ball and hit singles. That might just be who he is now. I don't know. Interesting conversation, interesting thing to dive into with him, because this is the range. These are the tiers where you can really separate yourself with the I know ball stuff in baseball comparative to football. Because like football, you can't really go wrong in this range. You just kind of go in a 20 pick radius and you'll kind of be fine. In baseball, man, you can really get some leverage on the field if you select the right guys, kind of this 140 plus.
See, I thought so until I nailed Mitch Keller, Isak Paredes, and Josh Naylor last year, and I didn't make the finals. So, to hell with this game, to hell with knowing ball. It doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. No, the leverage you can get is obviously massive, and I do feel like maybe not that it matters more, because like Kyron Williams, like to find baseball as Kyron Williams, I guess there's kind of a lot of them, not to the extent of that Kyron Williams mattered in NFL best ball, but to the extent of finding guys that are low owned to undrafted that can deliver top 100 value, or even like better, maybe not better than that, but you can find a lot of guys that will destroy their ADP late in these ranges. And that's where I thought that I had my edge. And, not that it wasn't an edge, but it just simply didn't, pan out like I felt I was going to. So I guess all that to say is, that is a big edge, and maybe it'll matter this season, but in football, I think it's a lot harder to find that low drafted guy that's going to smash. Whereas in baseball, they're kind of everywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's a really fair point. Yeah, well said. Brandon Pfaadt going there. I like Brandon Pfaadt. I like his strikeout potential. I was all about him last year.
Yeah, that's a great price. Yeah, we talked previously, like Easy's theory that I kind of agree with. Like getting these aces. Just a couple of them because they might separate over these other pitchers. But Brandon Pfaadt going in round 14, it's pretty freaking nice, man. He's going to be in the rotation, and I can imagine that he's not going to have too hard of a cap on innings, if he's healthy.
Yeah, what's the difference in taking Brandon Pfaadt there or taking Cole Reagans like 5 rounds earlier?
You're right. I mean, projection-wise, they're going to be the same. It's just that Cole Reagans debuted, just like setting the world ablaze. So it's and Pfaadt did not.
You're getting Snipeville out here, man. I really wanted my Tyler O'Neill, and I really wanted my 2 Canadian boys, Josh Naylor and Tyler O'Neill, and get some stackage going there. All right, let's start having some fun here, Nez. Let's go with Wyatt Langford. Let's go. He breaks camp with the team. He breaks camp with the team here that Josh Jung, Wyatt Langford, Skinny Stack are the guys you need.
How awesome is it that like this really does seem like a new trend in baseball, that we are bringing guys up sooner than ever before? Yeah, I think that it's like smart and like very sharp. Like if you have a guy that can hit, like, and he's good, fucking get him up. Just get him up, and like, and you would be, and like teams are, I think more and more teams, you're starting to see this more and more, where guys are just, like they're rushing you up. Maybe rushing is the right or wrong word, depending on the prospect in question. But hey, keep the train rolling. Might as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, speaking of which, go ahead and take Junior here and stacks with Yandy as well, and you get a little bit of ceiling there. Or I could do the Isak Paredes, who is a household favorite around here for us with big time poolside pop. But let's take him there. Yeah, I think the rule has actually helped. You know, like the MLB changed the Super 2 deadline rule or whatever for years of control where, if you broke camp with a guy, you wouldn't get that year of control. You'd alleviate it basically. So you would forfeit a year of control for like an extra month and a half worth of games. So then they would hold them out till that like June 1 or whatever it was. I can't even remember what the actual dates were now. And now they've done away with that rule. So I think teams are less apprehensive to break camp with like some of their emerging young talent.
Yeah, so like Super 2, I don't think we ever like know the exact date. It's not really supposed to be like known, like it's a Fugazi as you say, it's Fugazi, Wazi Woozy. But yeah, so if you do bring that guy up and he finishes really well in Rookie of the Year voting, then I think it's like an extra pick. But if you slack on bringing him up and he crushes, then you get penalized. So I think it's a good change. It's still, cheap teams are going to be cheap. It is what it is. Like they're going to find a way to be cheap. So I can tell you that firsthand.
Yeah. Hey, kind of same.
yeah, low key. Are you going to have any Paul Skeens in your portfolio this year?
I don't know. I haven't done enough. How old is he? Is he 23?
I do think he's older.
Yeah, because he was like a 2 or 3 year college guy, right?
Oh no. Well, he will be 22 this baseball season in May.
Yeah, man, it seems thin. Like it seems like on a team that's a couple years away. Like we basically had this exact same conversation last year with yeah, but we basically had this exact same conversation in years past with Nick Lodolo and Hunter Green and whatever, and that team overperformed. Granted, those players got hurt and whatnot. But, that team overperformed, and they're still apprehensive to push pitching. Now, the other end of the spectrum is the Diamondbacks, and they pushed Brandon Pfaadt because they went on a World Series run. But they didn't really push him in the regular season enough to matter in this contest. So, if the Pirates shock the world and they're contending or they're close to contending, and, yeah, he might be a viable piece for that sort of thing, but I don't think he could be a viable piece in this contest. I liken him and Robbie Ray and Clayton Kershaw and these guys who are going to be hurt for like the majority of the season. I think of them very similar to these like rookie aces.
Yes, I think that's a fair comparison. So I'm on the clock here. How many Red Sox starters is too many? Everybody wants to know. We're gonna go. What were you saying?
I said I'm about to do some of the most on-brand shit you ever seen in your life.
Come on, play the hits. Play the hits. What do you got? What do you got cooking?
First MLB draft of the season on stream together. Like we just got to play the hits out here for sure. I'm just staring at my guy Ty France. I know he's been at Driveline. I know he's been working.
Oh, Driveline guy.
I'm looking at Ty France, and then it's living rent free that I got a stack partner or two with him to fill out the outfield as well. Stroman there. I haven't done any research on Scherzer. What are we expecting? I know he had the back surgery. Is he on the similar timeline to Robbie Ray and Kershaw, like some of those guys where it's like all-star break onward?
They are calling his assessment or his prognosis
let's have some fun.
Bleak.
Herniated
disc surgery in December.
Yeah.
Dude's old.
Yeah, that's tough. I just took Sal Frelick. I deviated there. We talked about him last year in the Daily Streets, Nez, a couple times, and we estimated like what do you think his ADP will be next year? And he's a big time lock for playing time comparative to some of these other rookies that are going well ahead. Maybe not the same pop side of the hit tool. Like that's kind of like his demise comparative to some of the other prospects going ahead of him. But like I don't know. We kind of guessed he'd be in the 150s range and catch some steam come spring, and here he is sitting at 200. So
I think he's
yeah,
going to overperform. Personally, I'm a believer. I'm a big time believer in Salfrey. Like, I know that his numbers don't really look great when you look on his Fangraphs page for last season, but I'm a believer. Oh, you're just sniping my cue, man.
am
Left
I
and
good?
right, left
I
and
like Seth
freaking
Lugo.
right now.
I like Seth Lugo here. I think Seth Lugo's probably. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, damn it, dude. Sorry, I was looking at Pete Crow Armstrong last
Canadian
season
kid.
too. Do you like Bryce? Are you into Bryce Miller this season?
I don't know yet. I think what he showed with like his ability to basically pitch effectively at the big league level with only 2 pitches is pretty incredible. Like he was basically only fastball up and slider, and he was dominant for a couple stretches there. Guys caught up to him, halfway through maybe, his stint back up in the big leagues, and then it was kind of like, okay, what do we have in Brian Wu? And then they started using him in lieu of him. But yeah, I think I'm fine with like the ceiling of this price point, and removing Robbie Ray from that rotation. Not that they necessarily were going to have him this year or whatever. Kind of clears up a spot for him to be on opening day roster.
Yeah, I guess it's like for me, just like picturing that then he got off to that white hot start last year, right? Like it was just unbelievable, and like it was going like so soon in the 7th inning stretch, like when it first opened.
Mm-hmm. Fastball spin rate they compared to Strider, and it was like, oh my god, that's just Eno's stuff metric loved him when he first came up. And that was like every fantasy baseball bro's wet dream.
It really was.
Yeah.
I gotta fix this team of mine. It needs help.
Hey, thank you, Johnny Basketballs. Appreciate it. Wouldn't have been able to obtain that and do that without the community that's here. So love it. Easy said something earlier. This is obviously a show that we ran last year and one that we will probably run this year, or in tandem with Stacking Dingers do something. He said, and think if you factor in some extra Coors playoffs juice, like games, you juices ADP a little bit. I haven't looked at the schedule at all. Have you gone down that rabbit hole yet, Nez?
No, I have not, but I think the guys in the Discord and Stacking Dingers, they have done some look ahead stuff, but I have not. But that'll be I'm gonna be a best ball bro about this stuff, and that will like be a factor for me.
Absolutely, yeah.
Schedule.
Because as much as we think of baseball as like a season-long contest, right? This is scored in a weekly format. It's the same as every other best ball game on the site, and that's abnormal for baseball. So it is definitely a contributing factor because ballparks can do a lot. I mean, anyone who plays the daily streets will just see Coors slates. Well, all of a sudden you're taking Tovar in the 3rd round or 2nd round where he wouldn't be getting drafted on a daily slate with 8 games, but that's the Coors effect, right?
Yeah, like imagine, you knew in best ball season for NFL that, there was a team that was playing in a location where the defense was guaranteed to be like 5% less effective and the offense was guaranteed to be 5% more effective. Like you just knew that. That's going to factor into your decision making because that's where this contest is won. That's what we're dealing with. So unfortunately, it matters.
It's the dome boner on steroids.
Exactly.
We're gonna do our first low low of the season, and take Brendan there for a little Tampa Bay low.
Yeah, there we go. I had to think about it myself.
I fully pump faked you that way. I fully pump faked you that way. Brandon Lau.
You You had me going. I was waiting. I was waiting for that one. I did a little jump ahead with these last 3 picks. I'm gonna probably be all over the board. But what do you think about
Good,
that one?
rightfully so. Hold on, oh man, Siri.
It's gonna be on brand.
Let's do Estrada. Estrada's just like one of those dudes where when he hits at the top of the lineup and they're playing lefties, like he just pops every single day in the daily projection stuff, and yet in season long stuff, nobody ever takes him.
Yeah, he's perennially under draft in these contests. That's a good pick. He'll be pretty popular, I think, among our Discord community of people taking players there. I really want to take a guy, but I'm not going to take him. But I really want to take another A's pitcher, but I'm going to hold off, I think.
Okay. Another A's pitcher. Like a little boring ass. I'm trying to think you're really playing into the ballpark narrative. This is peak. You've been looking at the schedule and they're at home or something. I mean, a little boring ass Paul Blackburn potential, or
I love Paul Blackburn. He's on the short list. He's on the short list of A's pitchers that I would take. Not just anybody, of A's pitchers that I would take. I don't know if you could. I mean, if you just search A's, you might be able to see who I'm talking about. If you want to.
There's the kid who came up last year. There was the kid who came up last year and like threw smoke, but then he got hurt and had the TJ. The one that everyone was excited.
Mason Miller.
Mason Miller, yeah. Everyone was excited about Mason Miller for a minute.
By the sounds of it, he's
going to be a role change.
I think they're moving him to the bullpen. Sadly,
interesting. Okay, cool.
You know what I want to see Fujinami get a shot at a starter somewhere. And do you know where he would look great pitching? Is with the backdrop of Roberto Clemente Bridge behind him in Pittsburgh.
I mean, if he can learn how to throw strikes, I mean, just the dude can't find the zone. Like he throws hard as fuck. He just can't find the zone.
Oscar Marine can fix that.
Can he now? How about a little Henry Davis pick there? Outfield eligible despite probably going to play some catcher.
Probably going to play some at catcher, but if they can help it, he won't. This is just a vote of confidence in him as a hitting prospect. Didn't have a good season last year. Struggled with like a lot of things, let alone just like kind of freak injuries. But I still have belief in like his swing and his power and the ability to put up home runs, which is what we look for here. I do think he has 30 home runs in his range of outcomes. So Henry Davis is going to be my Mitch Keller for sure this season.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't looked enough into it, but I remember last year when we were playing the daily stuff and you were talking about like his hard hit rates and stuff like that. Like he looked kind of nice, but I take everything.
Sorry. Yeah. Take everything with a grain of salt when it comes to Pirates players for me.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'm not as adamant about Henry Davis as I was Mitch Keller.
Okay. Manuel Margot league winner.
I love that.
I mean,
I love me some Manny Margot.
He definitely had some stretches last year. I think I'd take the Siri side though. But if you're just thinking about like vacated spots in the Rays outfield, kind of makes sense.
You know what?
Man, there's so many fun. Hit me with it.
It was he's the Oakland Abe. I'm not going to take him, but dude, I love Luis Medina. I don't know if you ever watched Luis Medina throw.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I definitely have. I'm trying to think what's nice about him that I remember.
He's got a nasty fastball. Really?
Does he? Okay. He throws hard.
Yeah. He throws gas. Okay. Yeah. But he's always getting beat the hell up. But every time that he was on a slate, I would always mix him in here and there when I really should not have been. But I couldn't help myself. I'm gonna ask the audience here. Marte or Noelvi Marte or Jonathan India or Edward Julien. I think I'm Julien. I can't believe he goes last round.
I'm Noelvi pilled.
Are you?
I mean, they're gonna have a logjam in They're gonna have a logjam for the Reds though, on like who's gonna play where in the infield though, especially with Carlos and Encarnacion Strong taking first base. They're like if or Christian Encarnacion.
Whatever you said
Hold
sounded
on.
great.
Should we just keep shooting the moon on these rookies?
Yeah.
All right.
Not that one.
Not that one.
You know what Fangraphs has on the TLDR on this guy?
What?
Hold on. I don't want to butcher it. What is that dude's name? Sedan? Rafaela?
Yeah. I saw him go in like the 15th the other day, and I was like, holy shit.
That name specifically is what made me think like I don't know shit about baseball this season, and then I
That's
found out like, oh, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm fucking screwed. And then it turns out that Sedan Rafaela, the TLDR per Fangraphs, Gold Glove caliber center fielder with a very immature approach. So I think we're okay on the fade.
Very immature. Just keep yanking him over that monster. All right, that's fun. That was obviously
good start.
Ill prepared, unscripted, fully off the cuff. The true sickos at Stacking Dingers and in the Discord are ahead of us right now, but Nez and I will catch up. Don't you worry. We are our daily lens will flip over here, and we will be. But we're currently spread amongst a bunch of sports, and we're gonna mix said sports in now. Nez, how'd your team turn out? You like it?
I do like it. So I went 7-7-6, pitching staff, 2 horses. Well, 3 horses, really. Garrett Cole, Zach Wheeler, Grayson Rodriguez, and then
Grayson Rodriguez, that horse, baby. That proven commodity that is a horse.
I don't shove it. I'm gonna have so many. I'm gonna have so much Grayson again this season. Then finish off with Brian Bayo, Nick Pavetta, Gavin Williams, and my boy JP Sears. And at infield, Raffy Devers, Christian Walker, shout out Neumy, Royce Lewis, Spencer Steer, Jackson Holiday, Reese Hoskins, shout out Neumy, Edouard Julien. Let me just say, man, I do not understand the Edouard Julien ADP at all. At all. I do not get that.
Well, do you think he's going to lead off for them like he did in stretches last year and be an everyday player? Or do you think it's going to be like what we saw later in the season where Jorge Polanco was the guy when he was healthy?
I don't know. I don't know how they can keep him off the field necessarily. I don't know how they can keep him out of the lineup. Like, is his glove that much of a liability that like they just cannot find a place for him? I mean, the bat is just unreal.
Yeah,
the bat's unreal. So I'll maybe it's bad, but I'll have a ton of Julien on my teams. Okay. Like that's too good. And then to round out my infield, Corbin Carroll, Ian Happ, Riley Green, shout out the Pesky Tigers, Chas McCormick, Kerry Bonds, and Hank Davis. I think I might just stop drafting because I think this is the winner.
That sure. Oh man, no, it's a fun team.
Calling this definitely a fun team. Naming this the winner.
Is it? Am I crazy for thinking Jackson Holiday's not gonna like break with the team, or do you think he will?
It would be a disgrace. It would be a disgrace if he didn't break with the team. It would be a disgrace.
Okay.
He's
all right.
He's extremely good, and this team has World Series hopes.
Right. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, especially after the year they put together last year. I don't know, where do those at-bats come at the expense of?
I think Jorge Mateo, right?
Yeah, I guess. And he's just the everyday shortstop.
Let's say that to yourself, I guess.
Right. I mean, I guess if you do think about it, they did have a glaring hole at shortstop. Right? Like Jorge Mateo's decent baseball player and, good, fun speed and okay to be just like a bottom of the order hitter with a medium glove, but that would probably be their biggest hole.
And he misses, and if he doesn't come up, if he doesn't break camp with the team, he still gets like 120 games in.
Okay.
Which at that pick. I think he's going to be a big riser. He's on the Corbin Carroll track, except he's an infielder, so it's going to be muted, but he's on like a fast rise track for sure.
Yeah, the other person is like Jordan Westberg too. I mean, like he's a former first rounder and 20 something years old. I think he's like 23 or 24, something like that too. So that whole team is like good, young, fun core. I mean, back to back Baseball America first overalls. Like
that's insane. That is just
Gunnar Henderson, Rutschman, and then now Jackson Holiday. That's crazy.
Yeah, they need to do something now. Like the pressure is on. You don't just build this absolute like stable of prospects and like let it like dwindle away. I mean, cool, they signed Kimbrel, but like you're not done. I'm sorry. Like you got to do a little bit more.
Whoa, G for Gummy coming in here. Is this breaking news? Josh Hader to the Stros?
Is that facts?
Wow. Is Presley gone? I thought they still had one more year, Ryan Presley. Huh. That's crazy.
I don't see that.
No? Maybe he's just wishing it. Wish casting that one?
Potentially.
No, I see it.
Oh, nice. I didn't see it.
I see it on Roster Resource. No, I didn't get a notification for it.
Was
that
old? Damn, I gotta catch up.
Yeah, we must be way behind on that one. I didn't know that like just right away. Man, that bullpen's.
Oh, dude, that just happened. It just happened. Sorry.
Okay, good. Okay.
Passing just broke it 8 minutes ago.
Oh, there you go. That's crazy that Roster Resource updated it that quickly. Dude, Josh Hader, and then Ryan Presley, Brian Abreu, Rafael Montero, say what you will. But like that's pretty nice.
Where's Toon? I didn't get a notification from UDMLB. That was the thing. I was waiting for that.
Wow.
Where we at, boys?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, we're thrilled. And hey, if you're looking forward to learning more about how to play NBA, why don't we just jump right over there, Nez? What do you think? NBA next?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
All right, nothing but drafts. So just got to talk it through on the fly. Actually, you know what? I don't think I put ranking. Oh, I did put rankings in earlier. Let's delete those. Man, I've been absolutely smashing the directionally accurate exposures, and it has just turned into minus 50% ROI every single day for like the last like 5 or 6 days in hoops, because I'll have like that one piece that was wrong. And last night it was Randall over Brunson and Edwards over or Ant over Scotty Barnes. And that just sinks my whole ship. You know what I mean? But I was like all over. I had 20% Marvin Bagley, and I mean, the TJ McConnell stuff didn't age as well as it could have. He actually like kind of low key played like less of a usage role. But man, what a cruel game this hoop stuff is sometimes.
Yeah, that Marvin Bagley stuff was so sharp. I wanted more of it, but like I was just like not loving that matchup against the Knicks. But everyone was talking like on other like DFS shows. Everyone was talking about how Bagley is like all they have, and I mean you didn't even have to listen to those shows to really, put those tea leaves together. But everyone was just like pounding the table for Bagley, and he was going undrafted. So you and I were both on the Bagley stuff, but I broke even yesterday. But yeah, go ahead.
He was the only center they had, right? He was the only one on the roster. Like it was just like it didn't matter that it was a trade. As we start to talk about hoops, though, we got to give a shout out to our guy Rydock last night, taking it down. Love to see it. True grinder who has been putting in the work for a long time there and got his first bank of the season there. So love to see that. And then usual suspects followed it up behind there with Crutches, Magikarp, Nick. Cowboys won the dad, and Sam Olsen was second in the dad. So just love to see it from the community. Nezzy, do we go with the cover boy, LaMelo Ball? Are we comfortable with his minutes? Are we good with the spot versus the Spurs, or do you like somebody else here?
Yeah, it's Melo.
Okay. I'm back, baby.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I broke even yesterday and had a lot of landmines, which like really screwed me up. Like IQ totally busted on me. Pause. And then Levine also just like awful night from Levine.
Yeah, he
So
left and came back, didn't he? I didn't watch that.
It looked bad. I didn't think he had a chance
Oh,
to come
really?
back, but he came back and didn't do anything anyways. But I'm still going to be targeting the Raptors. On both ends of games. That the Bulls just kind of play their game, but I am going to be a proponent of the Raptors being good for fantasy. And the whole thing is like, I want to get there before the projections do, if I'm right. There's just rare occurrences when things change in the NBA and projections may or may not like wait to see it or like project for it. And for me, this is something that I think will have a tangible impact, but I want to get there before the field does. So,
Okay.
I guess I'll just keep chasing that dragon. And then even if it's just variance, I'll consider myself right.
Well, I mean, I would chase that dragon to the tune of 47% TJ McConnell last night. And then he started, and then it looked great, and his projections pushed up into like, the same as De'Aaron Fox, basically. And this is Kevin Durant for me. Is that good? Yeah.
I'm going to be mixing in Paolo, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, decent spot for Powell for sure, and still without Franz and whatever. Marquez Fultz, low key making a little push up in minutes there. Good UW boy, played 30 last game. Who knows, Nez? Who knows? Might be back.
There's nothing more. I love the John quota of getting a name wrong every show.
Who did I say? What did I say? I said Marquez Fultz, right? Didn't I?
You did.
Oh, fuck. Markel Fultz. Marquez.
That's fantastic. I mean, it rolls off the tongue. It does sound good. You definitely got to watch out for Fultzy getting back in there. But with no Franz, I'm always going to be looking at Paolo. Did Dejounte? Yeah. So what's up with this? Is this DeJounte Murray ADP? Wanted to ask you about that. He was like this high before the Trey stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's kind of hasn't really shifted a bunch.
Man, I don't know that I agree with it, so that might kill me.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I'd rather just take some shots on the back end on like Bogdanovich and Jalen Johnson and stuff like that, than opposed to let's just take Jalen Brown. Tucker's going crazy.
Tucker loves it.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a great pick there. I have no feel on the Siakam, like what we're going to see tonight, second night of a back-to-back. Like I basically haven't taken him yet, so I'm not sure there.
It's this. He did play. I didn't see his box score last night.
He didn't play.
Oh, okay. Well, you're talking about. Oh, okay, so
second night of a back-to-back, and now he's coming in.
Yeah. Maybe like 28 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. They're missing a lot of guys too, though. Like I haven't seen the new updated injury report, but Hallie's obviously a big talking point on the slate. But they were missing like Naismith last night. They're missing Nembhard last night. They're missing like a lot of minutes, right?
I'm surprised people aren't like pushing up Halliburton.
It's a very interesting conversation to have, and let's have it right now. Who do you like right here? Is it Hallie?
Based on the team that you have so far, like I would cross Porzingis off because you have Jaylen Brown on this team. I guess you can do Nurk with KD.
Nurk's been falling a lot.
Yeah. Ingram you could probably do. I would do Hallie, dude.
Okay. I'm torn on this narrative. Let me sell you this pen two ways. He's just going nuts. It's 12 o'clock. Here, let me sell you the Hallie pen two separate ways. He is the guy who wants the one revenge game in Sacramento, no matter what. He's that dude, right? He doesn't play through injury last night to be that dude last night. Is that because he was too hurt to do so? Or is that because they were saving him for the second night of a back-to-back where he could make his debut alongside Siakam. And they kind of don't punt last night because I'm pretty sure they ended up winning. They don't punt last night, but they mentally they're like, okay, our lesser roster's going today. Hallie comes back and makes the debut alongside Siakam tomorrow. Do you think which of those two narratives do you believe?
I guess the rest for the big debut of everybody all at once makes a lot of sense. It's just like, and I guess you could go both ways on that being like against the Blazers too. Like maybe you want like the exhibition matchup for that first game with everybody to kind of get a good like practice run in of meshing, because like the Blazers are a joke. So at the same time, it's like, really, like this is where you're gonna like get everybody back full strength. I mean, dude, I'm Hallie for me, like this, like you take a Q tag on this size of slate of that magnitude of ceiling at that pick every single time.
Okay.
Did what I say make sense?
Yeah, no, it says Hallie in the fourth, regardless of playing or not, is still a good pick.
Yes, it is. And
all
this
right,
has
cool.
been Hero for me, but
yeah, I like Hero or Jalen Johnson. I'm gonna take Jalen Johnson first because I have more Hero as of right now, and I kind of want to get some of this Atlanta stuff on the other side of that game. And I know JPB has custom ranks in there, whatever, and I'm pretty sure Johnson was ranked ahead of the Hero stuff. I think Hero could definitely fall back here.
I wonder if he's going to take Projection Boy, who's been hitting his projection lately.
Who's that?
Mikal Bridges.
Oh, yeah. The projection darling that is forever Mikal Bridges.
There's
it's interesting.
Great darling than him right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. He goes right there for you. Yeah. So speaking of projection darlings, just in general today, people really liking Simons and people really liking the Spurs and Charlotte game, just in general.
Vassell is so underpriced, and if Hallie misses, like I'll be trying to get all three of those Spurs in, and Vassell, Sohan, and Keldon Johnson. I feel like Keldon Johnson's due for a cute little night.
Okay, cool. I like that. Yeah, Keldon Johnson's minutes have been down the last couple here. I think he only played 18, something like that. Do you like Vassell here? Or do you like someone else?
No, I like Vassell.
Okay,
I have a lot of Vassell right now.
The other one I'll throw out there is without Wemby, Zach Collins. Zach Collins has the Q tag. He's missed almost a month now, I think. Maybe not quite. Ayton has missed almost a month and is coming back tonight. Allegedly, he was supposed to come back last night or the night before and couldn't find his way to the arena. Did you hear this story? He got like frozen into his house or something. So good. Let's rip another one of those real quick.
Yeah, this Pacers lineup is going to be so interesting. Like, I don't know why I was kind of forgetting, like, in the midst of all this, that it's going to be like him and Turner sharing the floor. Kind of interesting. Like, are they still gonna play fast with this?
Oh yes, dude. Pascal's like one of the best transition players in basketball. Like for the four, like he's one of the best.
Yeah. Well, that'll be fun.
Tucker is just on one.
the way that the ball just like rolled behind you and he like pounced on it, that was amazing. That was so good.
He is playing fast today. Yeah, Claxton. People really like Claxton too. Yeah, crazy.
I haven't
Brooklyn
done
projections
yet. I need to see what he's looking like today. I'm assuming it's going to be stupid because I think Day'Ron Sharpe is still out.
Basically, if you looked at yes, Day'Ron Sharpe is still out. If you look at like I don't know, insert projection model that you want to look at, they are going to tell you to basically forfeit this entire tier of after Zion, this kind of like entire block of 20 through 28. They're just, or 26. They're going to say like, do away with it. Actually, Miles Bridges would be pushed way up. After that, it's going to be like Claxton, Simons, Johnson, Bridges, and that whole tier vaults that. And I mean, we're talking fractions of points here, but if you just ripped the projections and put them in as ranks, that's what it would basically tell you to do. Take Siakam out, take Ingram out, take Nurk out, and put them all, Tobias Harris, put them all in like the 28 through 30 range.
I guess that would probably make sense for me. I did my buzzer beaters, no projections, and I have a ton of Bam, a ton of Hero, a ton of Butler, a lot of Tobias Harris, Vassell, Kristaps, Simons, Jamal Murray, Hallie. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I have 60% Bam.
Yeah, I don't love Bam, but centers versus the Hawks, man. Can't go wrong.
Why not, if you don't mind me asking? You don't like
I'm just over Bam in general. Every night he's just...
It's a vendetta?
Floor Bam. Floor Bam every night. I like Tatum and Durant here as like a tier. And then after that, I like Paulo and, then Bam. Then you can kind of talk me into the next ship mix of the tier. Orlando's been pretty tough on guards, but Maxi's role is just incredible. So that one I'm splitting hairs on that one. But you can kind of talk me through like this Paulo through Jaylen Brown. Like, what do you like here? Anything?
Paulo through Jaylen Brown. Well, I do like Paulo. I know that I have like this misconception that the Sixers are a good like fantasy matchup because like it's not necessarily the truth, but they do play sort of fast, I believe.
Yeah.
And Paulo, just without Franz, to me is just like a usage monster. And yeah, he's going to be frustrating as hell some nights, but other nights he's going to win you a lot of money. So I do like Paulo a lot. I'm surprised that he just went completely overlooked here. But Devin Booker, I guess I can understand against the Pelicans. I kind of like Pelicans as a fantasy matchup for us in these streets. The thing that's really frustrating about today is it's a full healthy Celtics team. That is always really annoying to deal with on these slates.
Yeah. It's so tough to deal with on any given night, like where stuff's going to go there. Because like even right now, like Derek White and Jrue don't get drafted like hardly at all. And, they should definitely be in 6th round consideration on, normal nights. But in terms of a good basketball game to watch, that's probably the most circle your calendar game of the night, like Denver and the Celtics. But in terms of fantasy basketball output, like outside of like Tatum at cost and a little bit of Porzingis and Brown at cost, I'm not really looking to get to it.
Yeah, I can't blame you. Even like Tatum, I know we took Tatum there, but like even he just feels like like an uncomfortable ceiling. Like, yeah, we know what he can do, but it just feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
God damn. I right now I have a lot of Kristaps, but I think it's just because he's the cheapest.
Makes sense. I mean, he's always going to project better than his ADP on like a night like tonight. Let's take Siakam. Let's see what happens. I like Terry for sure, and then I like Siakam. I think we just stick to the ADP here.
Yeah, Terry is a good value. This is like a nice spot to take him. Get a couple spots of CLV on him. I feel like the projections are not going to like him with LaMelo back, but we know.
They like him.
Okay.
They like him more than DeJounte right now.
I just got my blend up, so I'll let's see who's popping. Yeah, Hallie, obviously, but I'm not going to include Hallie in this analysis. Yeah, they like Terry.
Mm-hmm. They really like that game, man.
They fucking love Claxton.
Yeah, everyone
love Jalen Johnson. Love Bridges. Love Vassell.
Love Simons.
Is Boyan?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pistons, why do I not know who the Pistons are playing?
Other Boyan.
Oh, Bogdan.
Bogdan.
My
other Boyan.
My self-diagnosed dyslexia kicked in there. Bogdan. I like Bogdan too. Okay, I can get with that. Who else here? They don't like Tobias Harris. Okay. Miles Bridges. Okay.
Yeah, Tobias Harris is interesting because if Melton is back, it looks worse because like Tobias Harris was getting so much usage with the second unit. I don't think Melton will be back though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Melton's already out.
Yeah, okay. We haven't fully looked at the injury report, obviously, since we've been streaming and such. Getting some kind words here. Congrats on the UD partnership. Thank you, Nick. Congrats on being better than me at NBA. And Robert, congrats on the UD partnership. Sincerely, Bob. Love it. Thank you. Appreciate the kind words. Gentlemen. Yeah, Tobias has been going off, man. Tobias has been going off. And he was going off when Embiid sat. And then when Embiid was back, he still cooked the other night.
Yeah, man, it's kind of interesting. Like that's to me is like I feel like the things are still the same in the Sixers. It's just the Magic are obviously not like a great spot. So maybe I'm a little too recency biased with this early buzzer beater Tobias Harris exposure. I'll definitely curb that.
Now we have to have the conversation. Tobias Harris falls back to us here. Is he an ADP value, or do we trust the projections and the models and we take Jalen and Bridges here?
Let's see. Jalen and Bridges would be like for sure the choices here. Let's just see like there's not a lot of separation from like Vassell and Hero to like Keldon Johnson and Tobias Harris, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But those guys, Mikal separates though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it. Let's do that. Let's fall in line with the people in which are smarter than me there. But it's very interesting to see. I'm not sure we've had a slate in a minute where ADP is so different than the projections, which is interesting because we talked at length yesterday or the day before about how efficient ADP has been. And guess what? It was efficient as hell again last night, with the exception of Bagley and I don't know, maybe Mathurin and McConnell because of the injury situation. ADP was efficient as all hell last night in the first two rounds, and it's what led people to the Brunson plus Scotty that is what you needed to get home. Yeah.
There's a lot of rumors right now. I mean, like it's been going around for a while, but I feel like it's really picked up with DeJounte Murray trades. It feels pretty inevitable. I mean, well, inevitable one, but damn near like imminent at this point. The way that
the showcase
really
game,
Chris
showcase
Haynes
game tonight.
Chris Haynes just said that the Bucks are like now players for DeJounte Murray, which would be great because now I can take Dame Lillard even less. That'd be fantastic. Jesus, man. If I will never win money with Dame Lillard in my lineup. I don't think.
Yeah, it's been tough, man.
Loser.
Yeah, Tobias revenge narrative. GA chiming in that the Flyers are a wagon. Sick goal last night from oh shit. Owen Tibbet, something like that. Can't remember. He's good prospect. Nasty goal. I'm gonna butcher every name always. Tippett. It's like Tippet. Yeah, Tippet.
To pay.
To pay. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Actually, Nick brings up a good point. The Ryddock didn't even have Bagley, and got first with Vince Will in there, which was an ADP pick as opposed to a projection bro pick. Yeah.
One more, or you wrapping this thing up?
I was gonna say let's close the door with one battle royale and call it. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of forgot there's football on tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Pretty awesome. Shout out to the Saturday wildcard games. Those kick ass. We got a long way to go with the gauntlet and I guess just the gauntlet. So let's get in there and save Neumy2's job. Thank you.
Let's do a winner takes all. I haven't done a Hail Mary, winner takes all. What is this? Single entry? Single entry,
Single
winner
entry.
takes all. All right, let's see if we can fill this. $20. Oh, one more spot. Perfect. Let's go here. Single entry. There we go. I'm rolling the 101. Christian McCaffrey right here. Ah.
Shit.
We got Chip in here.
Maybe Chip will let us get Amon-Ra.
Any love for D'Lo in the 6th tonight? I mean, D'Lo's interesting because ever since he's been implemented back in that starting lineup, it's been like, hey, let him score a little bit, and he becomes way more viable on a night-to-night basis. Obviously like it a bit. I've taken him once or twice, but not something I'm getting overweight on right now. I think the LeBron Q tag is fake because it is a nationally televised game.
Yeah, D'Lo revenge narrative though. A lot of revenge narratives out here. I mean, D'Lo's played like everywhere, so it seems like there's a revenge game for him like every like 5 games. But no, that new role is definitely like something that we should be keeping an eye on. And the Nets have been like pretty bad, so definitely D'Lo in the 6th is should be mixed in my opinion.
Love it. Yeah, Neumy. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give Neumy this one because this is not a homer take at all. I will say that the self alley-oop that Ant threw down last night, probably the best dunk I've seen since Vince. Did you see it?
It was pretty sick. Oh yeah, it was sick.
Oh my god.
Ant's awesome, man. He's getting a lot of love right now, and he deserves it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's beautiful to watch. All right, let's see what happens here. Doc Love might time out and take Lamar here. The good people at ETR have some love for pushing up Mike Evans in this spot. I think I like Debo though still. Do you have any direction here, Nez, that you like?
I'm Debo, man. He just has like that smash the slate upside that feels good for a winner take all contest.
All right, cool. Yeah, and I think there's like some fun. I don't know. There's some fun things you can do in these contests. Obviously, the winner take all one might play a little differently than the other one, but I've been getting like some Debo plus Ayuk, and then had Purdy fall back to me once or twice. I'm really souring on the Stephon Diggs stuff. I don't know, man. Like both those corner matchups are just so tough. Maybe I'm just too football guy brain right now, but yeah, wide receiver falls off a cliff in a hurry. So if I'm able to get 2 from this back end of the board here to start a draft, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I think the only way Diggs gets home is like via touchdowns, which like maybe is like obvious, but I don't see him putting up like one he doesn't like Nico Collins can give you like 180, like on at a ceiling. A Diggs ceiling is like 102, like it just doesn't feel like he has that like elite outcome right now. He's gonna need like multiple touchdowns to match what these guys can bring yardage wise plus scoring.
Like it. Seeing a little bit of a unique board thus far. JA going there with Mike Evans. Mike Evans going over some of the other ADP picks, and then Travis Kelce getting pushed up here. With Mahomes, we see a front end stack like this. With 3 quarterbacks running here, do you think the CMC drafter is more likely to take Purdy and we shouldn't take Ayuk with Debo and, kind of be left holding the bag and take kind of like the safer Nico route? Or do you want to just gamble for the moon?
I think Nico.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought the time was about to run out, so I got scared.
It was about to run out, just not that quickly. I mean, Nico's going to project probably at most sources better than Ayuk anyways. So maybe it's just a better pick in general. I was going to try and do some crazy shit and shoot the ceiling there of being like one of the only teams in a 100-person contest to have the double stack. But it's still available. We could do something like if George Kittle wraps back around and we end up with Purdy having, 3 quarterbacks already taken, but less likely now that Chip takes Ayuk there. We're going to have to dodge 2 people on the Purdy stuff.
Yeah, these wide receivers are fun, and then like staring at like Diggs and Flowers, just like it's a weird 1v1
Mm-hmm.
because like Flowers, you're risking like just boosting Lamar and a monster Lamar score if he does well. Diggs just feels like he has no ceiling right now,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Godwin feels like the sexier click right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it does feel like the sexier click, doesn't it? I mean, I'm full Mike Evans pilled this week, but I do it. I do know what you
Well,
mean.
definitely. Just out of those two, like I'd almost
Mhm.
rather take Godwin.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. All right, we got the decision then. We got George Kittle comes back to us here. We could do the Kittle, Debo, Brock Purdy.
I
We
like
could
that.
do Godwin.
It feels so weird to pass on Diggs like so many times, but no, I like Kittle and Purdy.
I have a 5th-round Diggs team in the BR because he just keeps falling. Everybody's buying into KC potentially being one of the best defenses in football. A little bit of weather. I mean, not enough to worry, but like a little bit of cold, and then the worst, potentially the worst corner matchups on the slate.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one. It makes for tough best ball drafting as well. Gonna be a good weekend. Gonna be a good weekend. I still am team Bills win despite a lot of smart people having the Chiefs as victors in this game. I just think this is either close game Chiefs win or like Bills go nuts. Um, should be fun.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't really. Yeah, I don't know how that game's gonna go. I'm really interested.
Definitely like the biggest game of the weekend, in my opinion.
Yeah. Mark Andrews, obviously, with the D tag, put Isaiah Likely on the cover there. Are we going to be trying
Yeah,
to get overweight Likely now? Or,
man, how can you not?
yeah.
He's like the second option.
Yep. I tend to agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it seems like the way you beat the Texans is through the air anyhow.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I mean, my best
Likely
ball bags
or
are breathing a huge sigh of relief right now. That's for sure.
Likely or Schultz?
Likely,
Likely or Kincaid?
that's a good one. I think Kincaid.
Likely or Laporta?
That's another good one.
So you probably have Kincaid at like 3 in your ranks, and then Laporta at 4 or 5, and Likely at 4 or 5. Then.
Yeah, Laporta and Likely, I guess, kind of depends on if I have Lamar or not. I kind of put those guys in similar
Mm-hmm.
ranges.
Yeah, that's fair. There's some very interesting teams being built here. I really
I
like
know,
Chip's
right?
team.
Yeah, these are kind of tough lobbies. Like it's going to be a fun weekend, but these lobbies are kind of tough. I don't know if you think differently, but they get thin. These
Mm-hmm.
last rounds are kind of thin.
Yeah, they're definitely thin. It's just they're just very interesting. I'm gonna like whatever comes back to us here. Okay, so
So
David Montgomery comes back to us
only
here.
one running back can be taken.
Yeah, and I
What's
say
can
we
we
just
look at the?
this is Godwin for me. Like I know without looking that this is going to be Godwin.
Yeah, okay, I'd
Like
agree.
only one running back can be taken. You take Godwin. I mean, I hope this guy plays ADP game, and then I love this team.
Yeah, Godwin was the pick for sure.
Yeah, it was interesting because like Doc loves here. Who do you want him to take? Do you want Godwin, Montgomery, Gus Bus, or Singletary at 27? Because he had the decision, not us. Really. Well, I mean, we had the same decision minus um, Montgomery, but who did you like there?
For Doc Love,
Yeah,
Godwin, he needs a wide. He's going to be left with a pretty thin wide receiver now.
yeah, but you can stack Lamar still.
It's true.
Winner takes all. Bateman. Bang.
Yeah. I mean, I meant what I said when I liked Bateman yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I got to get more creative in these lobbies. I really think that, using the imagination and
Evergreen.
finding like these low owned pieces are going to be like what matters this week. Maybe it's Wicks, maybe it's Kraft on the Green Bay side. But yeah, I gotta get creative because my player pool is pretty shallow right now, and I don't think that that's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I tend to think it's not, to be honest. Ooh, there we go.
Yeah,
There's a scroll. Jameson Williams. There you go. I respect it.
that'd be so awesome to see JMO actually have a good game. I would appreciate that. I've got a lot of Lions left over in best ball, so
It's interesting to watch like someone build a team with like, this guy flipped the board, right? He put Kelsey and Mahomes up here, and yet his team didn't get like that different. This was like the perfect scenario. I wanted Singletary to come back here.
Yep.
And I really like this team now.
Yeah, got to be Singletary. He's like the best. Like if you get Singletary in the 6th, your team is probably like very good.
It feels so good to get Singletary in the 6th. This is what we were talking about on the show the other day, where it's like when you can get the 3 wide receivers at the top, or you can get like 2 wide receivers and then fall back on Singletary. These are my favorite constructions this week, and it's just because I don't have a huge lean at the running back position this week outside of McCaffrey, and I think the field feels similarly. So I'm kind of like splitting the difference, where it's like I would rather have Devin Singletary's workload than just David Montgomery at the goal line with 14 carries or whatever, punching one in. I don't know. Like that 1v1 for me is really close, but the 2v2 is not close at all.
Exactly. That's the whole point. It's that 2v2, or you can expand that however you want. But like I said, man, Singletary in the 6th, like I'm gonna love my team every time.
Yeah. Oh shoot, we lost it. Dang. Chip, I wanted to know, did he stack Baker or not? That's what I really wanted to know, because I've been seeing some weird things in these rooms a little bit here. I did a bunch of them last night. I did 16 of them, 15 of them, something like that. And then I keep thinking like the Baker one. Oh, here you go. So Baker, White, Otten for all the money. That's fun. See, I think there's some cool contrarian ways to stack that.
Agreed. And the Lions side as well, like Quad saying. I mean, yeah, we attacked the Bucks a lot in the secondary, but part of me thinks that their defense is improving, but they also just played the wet blanket that is the Philadelphia Eagles, so it's kind of hard to get a good read on them realistically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, dog in the background too. This is fun. Antonio Pierce. This was just like a good feel-good story with like all his guys rallying around him and lobbying for him to be head coach, and then Max Crosby like in surgery saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna hold out," or whatever he said. Not to the effect. I'm putting words in his mouth, but like he said, "Oh yeah, I'm not gonna come back," or "I'm gonna seek a trade," or whatever his words were, if they don't hire him as coach. Like that's so dope. That's the good football guy feel good shit that we forget about when we're playing these sicko draft games.
Dude, it's that blend of being that's like Pierce kind of reminds me of Dan Campbell in that mold, where he's just like he gets guys up for football while also like making, like being a smart coach on top of it, or having good help around him. Like Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell is like a match made in heaven. You get Ben Johnson like making really smart decisions, then you get the football guy and Dan Campbell getting guys like ready to like bust some heads and play the game that is football. That is a like very, like you kind of forget at the end of the day, like there are very caveman levels to the game of football that like if you lose that and you don't like you think Brandon Staley was getting guys up for football games?
No.
Yeah. No, he wasn't.
I kind of feel similarly about Mike McDaniels. Like, does Mike McDaniel get guys up for football games? He just swears a lot.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Like we like Mike McDaniels. Does he actually get to his players? Maybe, maybe not. I do think he's really good for Tua. I think he's good for Tua and like helping coach Tua. But for the rest of the guys, like he might not.
Yeah, no, exactly. Anyways, conversation for another day there, Nezzy. Any last things you want to say on the way out the door? The guy you need in NBA, the guy you need in NFL for the weekend, anything of that magnitude? Your favorite scroll the F down?
For wait. For what sport?
Doesn't matter. Both,
looking
any, whatever. I'm looking at hoops right now.
So for hoops, I think it's Devin Vassell for me.
Okay.
For hoops, he feels like 40 fantasy point floor today.
Okay.
For NFL, okay.
I'll add for hoops for me. I think it's Jeremy Grant.
Nice. I think
enough people are drafting him. Oh crap! I pushed the wrong one. And then for NFL this weekend.
Oh, NFL, man. I have such weird vibes about this weekend, dude. I've got really weird vibes about this weekend. I think it's gonna be this this Bucks Lions game. I think is just gonna blow up, and I think it's Amon-Ra. I think it's an Amon-Ra week.
Wow. So that's direct leverage off CMC 101 because he goes number 2 every single time. So I'm
taking CMC 101.
Of course.
I'm taking CMC. And then I guess as a scroll, dude, it's hard to find a scroll down piece this week, man. It's really hard to find a scroll down piece.
Ty Johnson finds the end zone.
Yeah, like who's it gonna be, dude? I'm not sure. I feel uncomfortable, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I felt really confident last week. I don't feel that confident this week, but maybe I just need to, just remind myself that Jordan Love is him and just go back to the Packers.
Pick a wide receiver. Can you? It's such a hard thing to do.
Oh God, dude, it's hard. It's hard. I'll go Watson. I'll go back to the Watson well.
Okay. All right. Xavier Hutchinson scores a touchdown this week. You ready for
it? Dude, he was my rookie pick in best ball. I had him over Tank Dell.
Wow.
Knowing zero ball. Because he had the size advantage, and I thought he ran just as good of routes. So I like that call a lot, man. I actually liked Xavier Hutchinson.
Yeah. Steve, this is where my my take stems from on the Mike McDaniels. Yeah. Nikki doesn't like to watch ball, but she really likes Hard Knocks. So that's kind of like our meeting ground. So we started watching it, I don't know, a week or two ago. We didn't keep up with it during the season, and we're watching it right now. And yeah, he's an interesting cat.
Did you watch the episode with Braxton Berrios and his girlfriend?
Not yet. No.
Okay. So yeah, Bria was telling me all about this because he dates an influencer. And so Bria knows like who she is. And she used to be on Call Her Daddy. Like she did that podcast. It got like picked up in an article. And then they ended up having like a splitting up. But I guess like when they started dating, like Braxton Berrios was like still with somebody at the time. And it was like there was some drama involved. I don't know. Bria was keeping me up with the piping hot tea in the influencer dating community, but definitely watch that one.
Okay, when we watch that one, I'll report back on what I think of her infidelity to find Braxton Berrios. Our guy A Rose and Alan chiming in here. He says Christian Watson and Sohan. I always want to say Sochan, but I'm not going to mess that one up today. That's direct leverage off of Nez there, getting to Sohan instead of Vassell there. Yeah, definitely worth mixing in.
Take them both.
Love it. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Best of luck in the football stuff. Best of luck in your pod variants, your pod luck. Hopefully you got lots of dead Cowboys teams in there that you're vying against with your live Texans teams. I was looking at my pods earlier. I think I got a little lucky there, Nez. I got the only CJ Shroud team in one of them. So that's kind of fun.
Unreal. I just looked at all mine and labeled them in a spreadsheet and gave confidence intervals. A lot of 5s, a lot of 3s. We really Lions and Ravens is like what I need. So of course
Okay.
I'm building out a lot of like Patriots and Bucks in the return streets for hedge. Who am I if I'm not hedging?
That's funny. I can't believe you built a spreadsheet and put confidence intervals on your own teams. That's so
I had
cute.
to know. I had to know.
I give you 1 gold star in your homework, Nez. Way to go, bud. All right, do us a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, that notification bell on your way out the door. We'll be back on Monday with something. We're going to iron out the definitive schedule going forward, but expect our 3 shows to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Friday to remain off and on the clock for now. And then that time slot's going to pivot somewhere in the future. But yes, consider being a member as well so you can get access to the member-only streams. Nez has been doing those on Tuesdays and Thursdays, just ironing through his hoops process and building out his rankings and such. And I'll pile in there too, and I'll start doing some stuff as well. I think I'll start doing some dinger ones behind the paywall, just as like a random fire it up for 45 minutes, rip a draft, and go from there. Anything else to add, Nez?
No, I think that's awesome. We're definitely going to be behind the paywall quite a bit. I mean, we're going to have a regularly scheduled programming and the regularly scheduled hoop stuff, but I think we're going to be like John said, just kind of like impromptu, just like, like if we feel like ripping the members only shit, like, it's just going to be our little playground. So a lot of stuff to come. And again, thanks again. We said it like a million times, but just again, thanks everybody for the support and everything, because you guys are why we have made it this far. So we appreciate everybody. And yeah, thanks again.
Love it. Appreciate the good people at Underdog as well. Everybody's favorite part of the show. The end. Peace. Good luck this weekend.